And today I'm going to be bringing you everyone a video about Valk. This is going to be a two-part video. This kind of just is covering the basic things you might need to know with Valk and maybe some other things about her role. And maybe we're going to review some clips. And this is again more of a quick video than an analysis. So if you're watching this video, you want to know how to play Valk or know her roles or more. So what does Valk fill in a team? Well, one, her ult is good for using to rotate. Everyone knows that. But because of her movement, her main role is entry fragger. And it's not always this role, but this is the main role she fills due to the fact that she has very good mobility. Up, down, left, right, just in general. So the primary role that she excels at is entry fragger. For those of you who don't know, entry fragger is someone who starts a fight, pulls aggro, and allows the team, their teammates, to go into the fight without taking much damage at all, due to the fact that Valk is the one pulling the aggro. The reason why she excels at this is because she can peek a building, a window, a cover, anything, and get out as soon as the situation is not in her favor. And if you watch a lot of Preds, Masters, high elo of Diamond players, one thing a lot of them do, mostly the Pred players, will do with Valk is as soon as that situation is even or not in their favor, they fly and reset their position. Right? And that's why Valk is one of the best 1v3 characters in the game, because she can reset her position so often that the enemy just is forced to commit to a spot and to kill her. Or they're forced to res their teammate or forced to be in the back foot for most of the engagement. Obviously, Valk is great at getting high ground, so she's the one on her team responsible for getting high ground. She's very mobile, so she can play pieces of cover that aren't as good for other people. And as a result, she's able to fly back when situations get to be hairy. And as you saw in this video right here, this is actually a good clip right here. Right, we have his Wattson playing, and the first thing his team does when he goes up to here is he checks high ground, sees somebody, falls right back off. Right, Valk is one of the few characters that can do this safely. Others cannot really just peek a corner and fly away. And again, this counts as entry. She entered the fight on the top, realized that it was taken, went down into the floor, caught that, flew high ground again, and now he's keeping high ground. This is actually a third party here that he's fighting, that he just got thirded. Covering. Valk is amazing at covering teammates because she has that speed, right? Because of this fight, if they were not able to clear high ground, this enemy would have high ground, they'd be in a bad spot. And now, after the fight, they're not taking that much damage, but he's able to cover them and keep them from pushing. And both teams got hurt here, and he's able to cover them, right? So it's another great reason why Valk is amazing. I'm going to skip a little ahead, but the main gist of this is he's keeping high ground, right? And this is really cool here. This is something people always do as well. Pull aggro, right? Even if you don't accomplish anything, just pulling that aggro allows your team to push, right? If you've seen any end games with Valk, you see a lot of Valks fly up on the final ring when it's closing. Well, the reason why that is you're doing a win-win, right? The enemies focus the Valk in the air. Your teammates are allowed to shoot those people focusing Valk, right? And then it gives her the high ground. She's in the air, she can shoot while falling down, and just a lot more. So another thing that's amazing is just even pulling the aggro is great. Even if you don't do anything, even if you do 0 damage, just threatening the enemies that you're able to kill them is enough, right? Right here you can see Wattson kind of messing around with his Valk. It allows his teammates to kill him. Unfortunately, the teammates didn't really realize what was going on and kind of responded late, but that's exactly what, a good reason why that he was doing that. Valk's also good for disruption, right? This is a very good clip as well. We have Matafei playing with his teammates. They have a down. The enemies have high ground. He's able to stop the res. Luckily, Seer did it for him, but you're a Bumblebee that keeps on stinging. You keep on bothering them. You're Fly, You can just keep disrupting the enemy team until they're in a bad spot. So even if you don't have high ground, you can always fly up and punish people. And this situation here is good. You can see here I'm playing with the Revenant, final squad. We have Revolt. We take Revolt and we start walking right away to punish the enemy team. And this is where Valk excels, right? Why would I push the same angle as my teammate? Well, if it's 2v2, we're pushing the angle, they have high ground. 2v2 with them on the stairs as high ground, not very in our favor. We have Revolt, but like the goal of Revolt is to get it down, right? So I'm gonna fly, get the high ground, and this is kind of the reverse entry fragging, right? My teammate actually is entry fragging for me, pulling the aggro. I'm actually able to just go behind and get a really good beam, you know? And again, entry fragging and building fighting is where Valk excels, right? So we have a team here in the building, teammates holding the door. Valk is or Watson is technically entry fragging, but you can see that they're not in the building yet. It's not entry into the building, which is like what I mean by that is like Wraith's trying to get in, but she can't because of the door. So she's fighting, but she's not exactly getting into the fight of the building. But technically, Wraith is the entry fragger here. But look, pulls 2 aggro and resets by falling off the high ground, right? And now they're in favor of the fight. Team's able to walk in the building, and then they're able to clean the fight really easy. And you can see that all started because their team was ready to push with them, and Valk went in with the team. One thing you have to realize when you're playing Valk, your job is entry fragger, your job is to get angles, but it's not always to do that, right? You can cost your team by going for a really hard engage without your team being ready, right? And you have to realize when you can look for an angle and when you should chill, right? Here's an example of me playing. I cracked somebody. I didn't show you in this clip here, but I cracked a second person, or it might be the same person. Flash again. Can we push on this, please? I'm waiting for you guys. I've been playing in the context is I was waiting. I was like fighting them by myself. I pulled the angle. I asked to push, and then I got wrecked. I was trying to get high ground. I didn't realize that the teammate was holding him, and I got downed. Right? There's no reason for me to push this. Right? We got the angles here. My teammate's coming. We can push that person off, but we had no information on where that person was, and I got beamed. Right? This is where information comes into hand. Right? If you're playing Valk, play with the information you have. Right? Don't do what I did here. Push somebody, you have information on one person, and then you throw the fight. So just make sure when you're playing with your teammates, you know when to go and when you don't need to go in. And again, you don't always have to be the entry fragger, but that's where she excels at. But she's also excels at following up with your team as well, right? Example here, team push for him, right into the jaws of his Watson, able to clean up the team. Here's another clip from Dupe. This technically classifies as entry frag, but this is an accidental entry frag. They didn't know the team was there until right here. Knock is amazing, gets a 1 clip here, or almost a 1 clip. And then as soon as that happens, resets position, because they know where Valk is, able to reset position, get the high ground, and then shoot someone else. Reset position well. Again, look at that. They're up. They have his teammates in the mix. He's not overextending without his team. His teammates are there. And then as soon as he's disadvantaged, flies away. Right? And you don't want to do that too much, but like understand when and where you can do that, right? His teammates are in, he entry fragged for his team, the aggro he pulled the aggro, he can wipe this, but he's still, even being a predator player, backed up. Here's another good fight by Verhulst here. He gets the sniper, and this is another thing on that Valk's good at. Valk's one of the best with snipers because you can reposition and push. So you crack 2, push the building, and because they're on the back foot, the team can't secure the building, so he's able to just walk in. Not really an entry frag, just walking in, punishing them. And again, look, as soon as Verhulst is not in favor here, he backs up. Right? And this is a really good habit you need to get into. You don't always need to do this. Don't do this every single time, but understand when the enemy is able to punch back and when you can secure your lead. And if you look again, resetting high ground, very good habit. And when you're playing the game, it gets really hard to figure out what you got to do as Valk, but you just got to play the game and figure out where you can and can't do. Another good thing here, Skittle Cakes is walking up in a team. They have the high ground on the little platform. Well, Valk's the one that can contest, because other characters can't get up here. You go up the zip, you're just gonna get beamed by a whole team. They also got it down, able to punch that down very, very easily. Right, so Valk is one of the few characters that can contest other teams on high ground while working on a parallel high ground. So just understand that your team can't do that, it's all you. And again, this is one of the situations where that full team was alive and Valk was getting focused. As long as you're pulling the aggro off your teammates and they're able to entry frag, or sorry, get into the fight by themselves, you did your job.
Right.
So here's another situation here. I'm not playing Valk, so you're gonna be like, why am I getting shown a clip that isn't Valk? Well, my Valk actually got pinned here by a sniper. I'm so mad that gen wasn't there. I had 3 sticks on them. So I see that he's hurt. I'm scanning for him. And I know I'm not Valk, but the whole situation still is similar, right? I'm going to cover my teammate. And if I was Valk here, everything I would do would be done much faster, right? I'm holding an off angle for my teammate. I'm making sure I'm scanning to make sure it's clear. And again, if I was Valk, I could have just been a lot faster and holding him. And I'm covering him, right? And the situation I'm in is not good. And again, I'm not Valk, but like if I was Valk, this would be an amazing situation because I'm getting pushed by myself. My teammate are close to me, but I'm actually going to be the one in a moment farthest away from my whole team. They scan me, they know I'm alone, and I get pushed. If I was Valk here, I actually am able to get out. Right? I'm actually not Valk, so I'm not able to get out, but that's still, the premise is still there, right? If you're playing with your team, you're the best one to cover your teammates because you can fly back to your team a lot faster than someone like a Seer or a Gibby or whomever, a Loba. Or actually, Loba's pretty fast, sorry. But just, you're the person that can get out. There's another good clip here. It's actually a 1v3, which is really, really cool. And this is why Valk's amazing here. And notice again, first thing he does, get out. Amazing trade, right? I'm not going to count that Q missile here, but he trades for 70 here and flies away. Only takes 50 damage. Versus 2 people. Taking 50 damage versus 2 people, amazing. Right? Only person on their team that can contest is Valk and Path. Beams them both. Downs 1. Resets position. Notice he resets position. You don't, you want to lose. Their enemy knows that, hey, Valk's on high ground. The good news is he one-clip Valk, so the only person that can contest is Path, but Path also used the Q. So you didn't need to reset here, but it's always good to just mix up where your teammates, where the enemy knows where you are, because now the enemy has no idea where he is. Clinical. And you can see here, even though he dropped here, I didn't even know that the Path can get up there, but he was already up there, so he would have, that reset of position saved his butt. But the only thing I take from this video is, once you're in that fight and you lose advantage, reset. Right? Once you reset, reevaluate the situation, either heal or one clip someone else again, and then reset your position again. And this one fight he did it twice, which is amazing, right? He did the initial one, which was right there. He flew up there. Bean 1. And then reset again. 2 resets in one short amount of time. Okay, that's pretty much all the videos I'm going to show you today. I'm going to get more actual clips to analyze, but this is just to get the basics of Valk down, right? This is just like an initial video, and these are like my notes for this. So remember, Valk's entry fragger. Don't overextend, right? It's easy to play Valk and get mad with power and realize you're on a flank, but only do it when you need it, right? Otherwise, if you watch a lot of pro players with Valk, they play with their team a lot of the time, right? They only do it when they need it. I spent like an hour looking over Predator VOD reviews now, and a lot of them just stay with their team. But when they need to get an angle, they do, right? Always get high ground. That's #1 rule of Apex in general. Amazing. Valk's one of the best at covering her teammates because of her speed. You can disrupt people. You can troll them. You can bully them. As Valk, that's why Valk Seer is amazing. You throw a Seer ult, Valk has a play day. You can just get every angle and just bully them with the Seer ult. That's why Seer is also really good with Valk, because you can there's an amazing team together. As soon as the advantage is gone, just reset. Watch. We showed you a lot of clips here, but watch pro players. They know when to get out really well. And again, if you pressure somebody and you don't get anything done, them looking at you is enough to get your job done. So anyways, that's a quick video here. I'm going to have more VODs for World's Edge when the rank split's a little longer. The season just started, so it's hard to find clips. But with the ALGS happening today and World's Edge, we're going to have plenty of clips to review in the future. So thanks for watching. This is part 1. Just watch out for part 2.